Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about a huge issue that is probably near and dear to everyone's hearts: educational funding. Of course, this issue was addressed with the teacher walkout last year, which in an article by Dana Goldstein claims it was a win for all, which resulted in slight raises for the teachers and educational support staff. But that is hopefully not the end of the fight. More needs to be done, and hopefully Oklahoma's legislators can do what's right for the people who will be shaping the future of our state, which is the people who are teaching our students. Let me start off by giving you a little bit of background information on just how severe Oklahoma has slashed funding to education in the last 10 years. Now, legislators will say that Oklahoma's economy is closely related to the oil and gas industry, which is true. In an article by Liz Farmer, she explains when oil and gas are having down years, naturally Oklahoma's economy suffers as well. So they blame the oil and gas industry for their lack of funding in areas such as education. But what they do not tell you is that they also are among the leaders in state income tax cuts. So basically, if they were to leave those income tax percentages the same instead of slashing them, they could possibly have more free money floating around in our state's budget and allocate it towards something of importance, like education. Oklahoma spends $1 billion less on grades kindergarten through 12th grade than it did a decade, 10 years ago. That's it. $1 billion in 10 years. That's insane. Schools are having to implement drastic measures just to stay afloat and keep their doors open. 1 in 5 school districts have had to switch to 4-day school weeks just to save money because they can't go all 5 days. They can't afford to pay the teachers, the staff. On top of that, schools are having to cut programs such as art, music, science fairs, and in some cases, school districts are having to consolidate athletic programs. For instance, let's say hypothetically Union and Jinx. If funding wasn't strong enough for them, they would have to combine their sporting athletics together. So Union and Jinx players on the same team together. That just doesn't make any sense. Now, I realize this topic is originally on teacher pay, but that ties directly into educational funding. When most people think of funding, they usually only think of books, equipment, renovations to schools, new football fields, things of those natures. Unfortunately, teachers are typically overlooked, the most important tool for the students. Forget all the equipment, the laptops, the books. It's the teachers who will be teaching these students how to use their knowledge. The average annual pay for an Oklahoma teacher is $42,500, and that's for a high school teacher. For kindergarten, it's much lower. High school teachers typically get paid the most starting out. One of the biggest issues that Oklahoma is experiencing is teachers are leaving the state for other states, surrounding states, because the competition. Texas is the primary threat that is taking most of our teachers because their starting average for a teacher is $55,500. Who in their right mind wouldn't leave for almost a $13,000 raise? I mean, I know I would. Especially for how much time and effort these teachers put into a classroom. It's not just a Monday through Friday type of deal. These teachers are grading papers on the weekends. Their summer breaks that we like to call it, they don't take those off really. I mean, maybe a month off, but they're right back at it, organizing their curriculum for their students, for our students. Last year alone, Oklahoma lost over 22% of its teachers' force for better opportunities in different states, or just they decide to switch from teaching because the pay wasn't there. That's an issue, and I still am not sure how our legislators can't see that. These teachers deserve far better. These students deserve far better. Now, how can we afford to give pay raises to teachers and educational staff with our economy so heavily reliant on a declining oil and gas industry? There are multiple ways to accomplish this. The first way, raising individual income tax rate. If Oklahoma were to raise its Oklahoma, or if Oklahoma were to raise to 5 to 6%, it would generate $4 to $7 billion in additional money that could potentially be used to pay teachers and better education services. Another option, which is heavily scrutinized and looked down upon, would be the legalization and taxation of marijuana. Of course, this is a very touchy subject, especially in a state that is smack dab in the Bible Belt, but it could generate millions of dollars for Oklahoma and Oklahoma's economy. For example, in 2014, Colorado legalized and taxed recreational marijuana, and with the taxes and fees collected by the state, it totaled over $155 million. And of that $155 million, they took $42.5 million of that money and put it straight into public education. Imagine what $42.5 million would do for education, for teacher pay. As a parent, I will do whatever it takes for my child to grow up with the best advantages possible. As it sits currently, she'll have to work extra hard to succeed in school, just like every child does now. But why not do something to give our children an advantage? These hardworking teachers would devote so much more attention and detail into their learning if they felt as if they were getting paid properly. I fully understand that when an economy is down and there's just no money left to be allocated, there isn't anything that anyone can do. But Oklahoma can do more. We must do more. The small raise that our teachers walked out for is not the end. It's only the beginning in a fight that should not even exist. Thank you.